Now, I didn't even put this down as a possibility, but then I saw an article where somebody from ESPN or Sports Illustrated, something like that, predicted that Jevon Holland was going to be a Buffalo Bill once NFL free agency was all said and done. And I find it interesting, right? Because if you look at it from surface level, it makes a lot of sense. A free safety in which that we need. I know a lot of us do not want DeMar Hamlin back, although that I think DeMar Hamlin played well. I'm not saying that I want him back on this team. I think we need an upgrade at the free safety position. Somebody that absolutely thrives in coverage, somebody that is young, minimal injury history. And you know what? Jevon Holland fits the bill. So on today's episode, folks, we are going to be looking at his statistics. Spoiler alert, don't look at his 2024 season because I think that there's a lot that goes into this, but we'll obviously get back to that. Then we'll look at his injury history, and then finally we will look at his market value and have an open conversation of whether or not that it makes sense for the Buffalo Bills to pursue this safety out of Miami. It's already been said that Miami is not planning on slapping the franchise tag on him, so here he goes. He's hitting free agency. And I think the Buffalo Bills could end up welcoming a very good safety to this defense, pairing him with the likes of Sean McDermott and also Bobby Babich. Folks, please smash that like button for me. Easiest way to show some love over here. I'm live twice a day at 11 a.m. EST and 5:15 p.m. EST. And if you are currently catching the replay of this episode, I highly suggest you turn on those bell notifications after you subscribe, because I want you to feel what it's like to be a part of our live chat community that we have been building for the past 5 years. So shout out to everybody that has been tuning in. I love each and every single one of you. And let's dive right in. I do need to give a giant shout out to our proud sponsor today. That is Kalshi. Folks, Kalshi is the prediction market of absolutely everything. You want to bet on the weather, on crypto, on culture, on damn politics? We have it all right in damn front of us. Like, what will Trump say at his speech today? Kay Ivey, Ice, Kelly, whatever. Like, you can do whatever you want. It's absolutely insane. But the reason why I love this place is that they just implemented sports, and they have every single sport that you can think of. How about the Four Nations face-off hockey game tonight? Is it Canada or is it the United States? You can pick this over on Kalshi and see some crazy-ass returns. As long as you sign up using my link, you will get a $10 sign-up bonus. So might as well, folks. It is free cash to go on ahead and pick your take over on Kalshi. Shout out Kalshi. Best prediction market on the damn market. Go ahead and sign up. And let me know when you do so as well, because we have some things that we need to discuss. Now, Holland is interesting to me, right? Because if you were to ask TD Finstock, or if you were to ask many Dolphins fans, they would be like, oh, dude, he's terrible. He had a terrible 2024 season. Well, one thing I'm going to put out there is that he was dealing with multiple defensive coordinators, by the way, right? He's been in the league 4 years. He has had Anthony Weaver, who is a first-year defensive coordinator, who we all know struggled tremendously, much like that really overall D in Miami in general. Then Vic Fangio, where it sounded like him and Vic Fangio honestly did not get along very well. And then, of course, the defensive coordinator that was fired after his first and second season had Brian Flores for a year when he was drafted. So dude has seen nothing but a carousel of positional coaches onward, right? And his 2024 season, he certainly did struggle a tad. I'm going to go on ahead and I'm going to pull up his PFF numbers specifically, right? His coverage grade was absolutely abysmal. 57.1. He was getting burned left and right. Run defense overall grade was sitting at 63. But again, I don't want us to look at this 2024 season because, in my opinion, I think a lot of these Miami Dolphins players were checked out after Tua ultimately ended up getting injured. Why I find this interesting, let's go ahead and take a look. Look at that. Had 48 tackles, had 0 interceptions, 4 pressures, and 24 receptions allowed in 2024. This is not the Jevon Holland that I would want to sign. The Jevon Holland that I would like to sign is the Jevon Holland in 2023. Let's go ahead and take a look at this real fast. Coverage grade was at a whopping 89.9. He was the third best safety in the NFL in coverage bar none. Third best safety in the NFL in 2023 in general, according to PFF. And run defense, pretty solid at 9th overall. Season stats, 57 tackles, 1 interception, 1 total pressure, and 22 receptions allowed in 2023 by itself. Guys, when I look at this safety room, we have Taylor Rapp, we have Cole Bishop, who are the strong safeties, right? Strong safeties, you want to be absolute menaces. Menaces. Wow, holy shit. Menaces on the damn field when it comes into stopping the run and then also being hard hitters, guys that you could stack the box and make plays from a pass rush perspective. What I think we needed was a safety that is solid in coverage, sticky coverage, tight coverage on some of the wide receivers that try and break us on the second level. You think of the Nico Collins touchdown reception on week 5 against the Houston Texans, where we saw Cole Bishop out there and Damar Hamlin get absolutely burned, right? A safety like Jevon Holland, that doesn't happen in those sort of situations. So I really like what we saw from the young man here. Dip back down into 2022. It was a bit of an off season for him as well, but his overall interceptions ended up coming up at 277 total tackles, only 25 receptions allowed in 2022. But then you go into his rookie season, right? Where again, he had 87.7 coverage grade, right? 4th best safety in the NFL, 3rd best safety in the NFL, his rookie season at 84.7. 45 tackles, you have 2 picks, 16 pressures, and then only 12 receptions allowed all damn season long. So we're sitting here looking at quite a few of a roller coaster of a season. Okay. And when I see roller coasters of seasons, folks, because this right here in 2021 was obviously Flores, right? So he was absolutely flourishing with Flores, right? And then afterwards, I believe that this was the first year of Mike McDaniel, like had a somewhat of an off season. I forget who the defensive coordinator was at this point. 2023, Vic Fangio, right? Although that him and Vic Fangio were beefing, he definitely ended up getting him up into playing at a high level. And then this year with Anthony Weaver, who is a one-time defensive coordinator over in Miami, probably explains some of the drop-off in his overall production. So what I am looking at is 2023 and 2021 with this nice little coverage grade that we see from this free safety. And why I'm getting so excited about it is because I look at every player that has ever graced the Buffalo Bills secondary in my entire life, right? How many players have come and become some of the best versions of themselves just playing under Sean McDermott? Like how many of them, right? Like we have Christian Benford was a 6th-round pick. He is a top corner in this league. Dane Jackson was a starter for a very long time for this team, and he was serviceable, right? Levi Wallace was a CB2 for us that was very serviceable for us. Jordan Poyer, Micah Hyde, they were nobodies before they came to the Buffalo Bills. But you know what? They came to the Buffalo Bills, and they became one of the most deadly safety tandems in the NFL. So what I'm trying to say is that I see the potential of Holland staring me right in the face, and I think that it would be a fit for the Bills. But now we have to look at a couple of other things. What's his injury history like, and how much is this guy going to cost? Because the Buffalo Bills, not in the best situation financially. We could go after a couple of safeties in the draft here and there, but maybe we want to get a young guy, 24 years old, who has proven that he can rise up to the occasion and play at an NFL player type of caliber. Let's take a look at his injuries, because that's always something we have to take a look. Shout out to draftsharks.com. This is where I find all of this information. I'm sitting here, and he has only had 3 injuries. One was a concussion. He missed 1 game in 2023. He missed 4 games with an MCL sprain. All right. Sprained both MCLs in week 11 versus the Jets. Missed 4 games after that. So that's something to sort of put on the radar. But in 2024, his knees were completely salvaged. And then he ultimately ended up having a hand injury. He suffered a broken bone in his left hand in week 5's win over the New England Patriots and ultimately ended up missing 2 games. So not terrible, especially at 24 years old. I think that he would be fine. But now it comes down into how much will this dude cost, folks? How much is this dude going to cost? The 25-year-old. Excuse me. Oh, folks, excuse me. Pollen is running rampant down in Florida right now, and it's been absolutely killing me. 25 years old, college in Oregon, second round pick, 36th overall, 4 years experience. Let's take a gander. He is at $15.1 million. That is on average salary. 4 years, $60 million is his market valuation. And I don't know. I don't know. If you were to ask TD, then he would tell you that he's probably going to be getting paid closely aligned to what we saw from Derwin James, like $18, $19 million per year, of course, depending on the status of said contract. And then he's also compared to these players based off of when they were signed off of their age. You have a Minkah Fitzpatrick who signed his $73 million contract. That was back when he was 25 years old, a 4-year deal. Antoine Winfield, who is the highest paid safety in the NFL, right? $21 million average set sort of salary. I'm not seeing him be anywhere near that. You have Derwin James at 19 and Budda Baker at 18, who I know a lot of us who were just like, oh, damn, we should totally look at Budda for a while. Like, we had a lot of people wanting Budda Baker on the Buffalo Bills. But I'm not going to lie to you guys. I think so the value that we could potentially get from Jevon Holland at $15.1 million per year at a 4-year deal would be the sweet spot. Would I be happier if we could maybe get him to like $12.5 million or $13 million for a 4-year deal, backload it so that way as the salary cap continues to absolutely, skyrocket $30 million every season, in which it certainly appears to be going in that direction, then yeah. But guys, listen, in conclusion, I am looking at Jevon Holland right now, and I am seeing that he has proven that he could be deadly in the coverage scheme. And that is something I think we desperately needed from our safety tandem this year. I think that you replace Hamlin with a Jevon Holland, that automatically increases our secondary. Now, some of you might say, oh, Dan, like we might want a CB2 instead. I can tell you something differently. We can go on ahead and just sort of approach the draft with that. So to get a CB2 on the outside, because Holland, especially with his coverage capabilities, would be perfect and a solid insurance policy for a young rook lining up on the outside. But it is a possibility, hence why I did have this conversation. So let's go on ahead and talk to the chat. What does everyone have to think about Jevon Holland potentially being a free agent target for the Buffalo Bills this off season? Now, guys, do me a favor, smash that like button. All right. We want over 100 likes on this show each and every single time that we stream. I haven't even had an opportunity of checking the like button, but please hit that thumbs up sign. Let's put it up to the damn moon. If you are watching the replay of this, guys, this is the portion of the episode where I go to my live chat to stir conversation, to continue conversation. So I highly recommend that you turn on bell notifications so you can be a part of these conversations that we have twice a day, Monday through Friday. Wait, he is only 24, then hell yeah, let's bring him in. Yeah, dude, listen, man, he's 24 years old. He's 24 years old. And what's weird about Jevon Holland is that he has had a roller coaster of performances. His rookie season, his third year, he was the third and fourth best safety in the league, right according to PFF, as far as his coverage capabilities. Like he's a very well-rounded safety, right? Last year, he had a bit of a downturn, but let's be honest with ourselves. We know that everyone in Miami was checked out after Tua got injured. I mean, it is what it is at that point. I think that there's a massive culture issue over in Miami, hence why I think that he might have not been playing his best ball. But yeah, dude, he's 24 years old. And we'll see. We'll see. Austin Pinto, he wants top money. That is why he didn't play hard last year. He didn't want to get hurt for his money. Austin is coming on in with it. I mean, a great take, right? A great take. I would be fine with paying him what this market value is. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, he's young. He has shown that he can excel. And now we're going to pair him with Sean McDermott. With Sean McDermott, ladies and gentlemen, who has made some of the best. Like, bro, like you're telling me that you don't trust Sean McDermott in developing secondary players? He had Damar Hamlin out there playing above average football. He had Damar Hamlin playing above average football last year, folks. If that doesn't speak to you of what this coaching staff is able to do with secondary prospects, we're going to have to figure this out. We are going to have to figure this out. I don't think so. Cliff A is a big thing. A big-time pass rush helps the DBs immensely. Ask Mahomes. Well, so there's multiple different ways that we can go on ahead and address the pass rush, right? Like we could do it in the draft. We could also trade for a Myles Garrett and still have enough money to go on ahead and help out with the safety situation. Like, guys, like, we are going to make other moves outside of exclusively defensive line. I agree with you. Like, we need to address it. It is priority number one. But now we also need to talk about really refining our secondary. I think that's something that wasn't talked about enough was some of our safety play, which was less than ideal. Obviously, a defensive line would be able to help that. But I do think that Holland would be interesting. Cliff A is saying, hey, Dan, is he a free safety or a strong safety? He is a free safety. He is a free safety that excels in coverage. Sign me up. Zach Martin is retiring. Interesting. I'm just thinking about it. A secondary that consists of Benford Holland, a young stud rookie, and hopefully a breakout Cole Bishop, and then also add Taron Johnson as our slot corner. Insane. Insane. If Bishop takes a second-year jump, which I'm hoping that he does, and McDermott defensive players typically do, adding Holland right to this defense, and then we also end up adding a absolute incredible pass rusher onto this squad. Like, folks, like we might like have like a top 3 defense in general. Like, dare I say top 2 and not 2. That's what we're looking at. Zach Martin just announced his retirement. We have a Cowboys fan in here. He's a bit upset. Greg V. One did a salary cap extravaganza and realistically broke down the Bills. Could have had 60+ million in cap space with restructures and extensions. Cover one, my best friends in the entire world. In case that we sign it, it would be Rapp and Holland our safeties. In case we sign it, would be Rapp and Holland our safeties. I mean, yeah, Rodolfo, for sure. Not unless Cole Bishop goes out there and he has a hell of a training camp and he beats Rapp out. I don't know. We're going to have to take a look at this. Mike Sims, pay him with what we broke. No, we are not. There are several extensions, several like restructures that we could do, some cuts that we can get down with it, man. Never believe that, Mike Sims. Never believe that, my friend. We are going to be completely fine when it comes into some acquisitions as well, especially with how much the cap just raised, $30 million, completely fine. If the NFL continues to raise their overall cap $30 million each and every single year, which I think it might be close to about $400 million in about 5 years, you can see some of these larger contracts backloaded where it won't even matter at that point. But we will see. Flores is going to bring Holland to Minnesota. We have lots of cap space. Hey, listen, I can see him being a great fit and also a landing spot for him. Anything mediocre is better than Hamlin's ability. Big upgrade that helps our guy up front. Gets to the quarterback. All about the 5 seconds. We have Chewy Baca. Listen. All right. Do I want Damar Hamlin to be our free safety next year? No, I do not. All right. But he was not bad last year. Like, he was not bad. He was the best free safety we had on the roster. And I thought that he played a hell of a lot better. And for some reason, he's the most hated player on this team, which does not make sense. It does not make sense. Dan, you're making the point not to spend 19 a year when McDermott is great at developing safeties. We have Bishop bring in a young, cheaper safety. Let McDermott do his magic and splash at that D line. But yeah, look, dude, like, here's the deal. Like, we could easily create a lot of money with restructures and everything along those lines. Like, honestly, right in the grand scheme of things, like $15.1 million average annual salary is nothing, right? Especially if we guarantee about like 35 million of the 60 million and we turn his base salary like right in about $2 to $3 million this year. That's doing nothing to our cap, right? Especially with how the NFL has been increasing significantly with their overall cap number for the past couple of years. this sort of contract wouldn't break the bank as far as the amount of money that we can spend right now. A contract like, a massive Myles Garrett 30-40, yeah, that's going to put a dent into it, but we could still possibly end up getting that done, right? So it's not just we can only afford to make one move. Like, I think we can afford to make a splash play, and I also think that we can get a mid splash and then multiple like units here and there. Holland is going to get a bag. His market value is at about 15. Doubt we're going to be willing to match the offers he gets. I mean, who knows, man? Who knows? Like, say, for example, that somebody outbids us for Myles Garrett, or say, for example, that somebody outbids us, or say that Max Crosby is on the trade block and we get outbidded from there. I could really only see us going for Jevon Holland, like, as our quote unquote splash, if like we get outbid by all of the major pass rushers that are either in free agency and or on the trade block, one of the two. So I could see that. Well, life as a Cowboys fan is just pure hell. So KB, we do pass. I like playing in the postseason. Fins fan. Not broke. You restructure Allen again, and you probably have $25 million in cap room to spend. Absolutely. He's probably going to get a massive deal. He's going to get a new deal this offseason. A massive extension. It was reported today that the salary cap final number is expected to be $280 million, which puts us in a great position and puts a lot of teams in great positions as well. It's all about all of the YouTube TV data, like streaming, that really has put all this in. Has really put all that in. We have DF Forever saying Holland is a safety, not a free safety. He plays a lot of free safety in that defensive scheme. Craig, Lamb K, I feel your pain. Dak outright sucks. Oh my God. GM, Holland will be too expensive. RM56. If Bean decides to go the free agent route with pass rush, how do you feel about Khalil Mack? Good run stopper, consistent double-digit sacks, went to Buffalo, so might have a connection there. I'm good, not unless we can get him super damn cheap, right? Like $6 million a year. Like a 1-year, $6 million deal is all I would be willing to pay him, like, at that point. If we really, like, say that we can't get Myles Garrett, and that's obviously who I want the most, is Myles Garrett, right? Like, he's that dude I want. And we wanted to go bargain bin, like, hopping. 2 names, and it's risky, but it would be cheap, would be Joey Bosa, right? Like, he's only played like 10 games in the past 3 years. He's a walking injury. But like, we could potentially get him over to the Buffalo Bills for like $6 million a year. Probably. Mac, probably the exact same thing, but I'd rather not. I'd rather go to the draft if that was the case. Or I would rather see how Greg Rousseau plays on his 5th year. Maybe Javon Solomon absolutely pumps up and makes it happen. Let me see. Dominic is saying, take a look at the Raiders safety. That's a free agent. Forget his name, but dude is young and really good and would be a lot cheaper. What do you think about him? Morwig, I think his name is. He could be a possibility. He really, really could. I'd be really happy if our safety room is Rapp, Holland, Bishop, Bowman Jr. next season. I mean, listen, I would love Bowman Jr. as well. He's still somebody that I would love to target at the end of the day. Really, when it comes down into it, strong safety is somebody that excels, is that hard hitter, and that's Taylor Rapp. And then that's also, of course, with Cole Bishop. And free safety, whether or not that they played safety before, like safety, free safety, strong safety, whatever, he excels in coverage. He's solid in coverage. So he would be put in the free safety position in my eyes of what Sean McDermott probably would do. Y'all are more likely to try and outbid for someone that Jerry would please. I want it to end. I wish. Oh my God, dude. We have a Cowboys fan just going absolutely nuts. Hamlin is not that bad. Does anyone here remember when we had Coy Wire and Pearson Brialu as Bills safeties? It's funny how these things play out. Buffalo Wings. I don't want a Dolphin player on my team for the love of God. I mean, dude, he's a good one. He's a really, really good one. And then we have Exo Dark Reaper saying Dolphins never trade with their rivals. So you wouldn't be able to trade. You have zero say in this. He's a free agent. He is a free agent, my friend. He is going to whatever team gives him the most money. I don't want a Dolphin player on my team. Noah is coming in and saying, I'm not high on Bowman Jr., would rather have Latham Ransom. Interesting. I'm not familiar with him. I'm definitely going to have to check. I just really liked what I saw from Bowman over at the Senior Bowl. But granted, let's see. 5 to 7 million over is nothing compared to 50 million over we were last year at this time. Absolutely nothing. Guys, listen, we're going to be in good shape. Sign Mack and Bosa for a 1-year deal, 10 million each. Would be cheaper, 35 million for Garrett, and we'll have 2 for the price of 1. Oh man, listen, I would say 10 million for 1 year would be too much for both of them, to be honest with you. If you wanted to do like 6 million a piece, like 6 million 1-year deals, or like a 2-year deal with a 6 million average annual salary, then yeah, 110%. I'm fine with that. But that's last case scenario. I rather have Holland than Rapp. Rapp is definitely an injury prone player and he is slow. But so they probably wouldn't fit the same way right within the defense, right? Mike Sims, one of the last Dolphins players we got quit on us at halftime. I wouldn't associate that with each and every single player that comes in. It was just a weird anomaly. And rest in peace to that guy, by the way, as well. I heard that he actually passed away, or he did. Vontae Davis, rest in peace, Vontae Davis. Yeah, guys, but like moral of the story, like here's the deal. I would be interested in bringing him in. Solid for the secondary. That does not mean that I do not think that we need to prioritize the line. That is obviously something that we need to do. But I would be intrigued. I would not be pissed off if he was a Buffalo Bill. Why are people so low on Cam Scatterbo in the draft this year? Most people have him as the 5th best back this draft class, despite being 2nd in rushing yards, and you could utilize him a whole lot. So why? I mean, listen, I'm a big Scatterbo guy. I'm a huge Scatterbo guy. I'm not sure. Maybe it has to do with the fact that he was in a weaker division or something, or a weaker conference. I don't know. But I have a feeling that whoever ends up drafting him is going to have an absolute dog on their hands, baby. All right. Well, folks, I love each and every single one of you. I just wanted to hop on here real fast and chop it up a little bit about Jevon Holland. Again, for anybody that is tuning in on the replay of this video, I really want you guys to go on ahead, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and turn on them bell notifications. Let's go on ahead and get this up. Thank you so much. I will see you tomorrow morning. Peace.